today's episode is a really special one because I'm essentially allowing you inside my brain to see my complete workflow for these YouTube videos. We're gonna be going over everything from coming up with ideas, scripting, filming, my camera settings, and how I edit each video. So let's get into it. So before you can start creating YouTube videos, you have to have an idea. My channel focuses around the content creator life, so that could be anything with photography, filmmaking, editing, or how to run a creative business. And the mission of my channel is to elevate others. So whenever I'm coming with ideas for my channel, I always ask myself, will this video idea help others? I wanna make sure that every single video that I create either helps someone learn something new, or helps them maybe take a step forwards, or just brightens up their day because there's just not enough positive messages out there. So for example, for this video, it was a pretty straightforward yes, because I knew by creating a video and showing the behind the scenes of what it takes to create a YouTube video, that it would help you guys go out and make your own YouTube videos. Plus, a lot of you guys were asking for me to do this video in my last video's comment sections, and I swear this did happen. I'm not pulling off one of those typical social media influencer people who's like, hey, so a lot of you guys messaged me about this just so that you can talk about whatever you want to talk about without feeling bad. So throughout the week, whenever I have a good idea for a tutorial or a gear review or an encouraging thought or maybe just a fun activity or experience that I want to do for the channel, I just write the idea down in my phone immediately. And this doesn't have to be the full complete idea, it just is a rough idea of what I could do. And then I can go back later and work on that idea and see whether or not it's actually a good video to make. For example, recently I've been thinking of doing a daily vlog challenge for 7 days. And I was at the gym on the cross trainer and my mind's always processing and thinking, and all of a sudden I had all these new ideas coming to my mind, and right away I just started writing them down. You know, is daily vlog making a comeback? The tension of being a career person versus a dad, the secret of daily vlogging, my daily routine as a YouTuber, the secrets of a successful YouTube channel. I wrote all these different thoughts and ideas and just expanded them a little bit so that later on, when I want to come back to them, I remember, oh, that was the idea that I had, and I can start building on from there. Now, I might not do every single one of these ideas, but I'd rather have them written down so that I don't forget what they were in the future. And it's important to have this library of ideas because as a YouTube content creator, you're creating 2-3 videos a week, and you want to be able to have just this library of ideas to pull from rather than getting stuck each week thinking, what should I do a video about this week? Instead, you can just pull up your library of ideas and just see which video feels like the right video for that moment. Once I've chosen my idea, then I start working on the title and the thumbnail, because the title is essentially gonna drive where your script goes when it comes to the introduction, the content, and so on. In the past, I used to just, come up with an idea, write the script, make the whole video, and then as I'm about to upload, I'd be like, oh shoot, what should I make the title for this video? And I often noticed that I was just trying to force titles onto certain videos that didn't really fit or actually describe what the video is about. So nowadays, I really like to make the title first. That way it'll drive the whole introduction and the content that I'm making in the video. For titles, I'm using TubeBuddy's Keyword Explorer just to see how much search volume there is for a certain topic and to see how much competition there is around that idea or video. This helps me to figure out, is it worth it to create this kind of video on my channel? Because obviously I want my video to be seen by as many people as possible because I want my video to help others. So for example, for the title, How I Create YouTube Videos, it got 100 out of 100 score. There was excellent search volume, the competition was scored high, and as well there was an entry barrier for only 36 views. So pretty much anyone could get their videos seen for that topic. Now, no matter how much research and work you put into your titles and thumbnails, it's still a nightmare. You never know which titles and thumbnails are gonna do well. Some videos that you think, yeah, this is gonna be a good title and thumbnail, don't perform that well, and other times, a video with a title and thumbnail that you didn't think were that great perform really well. But when it comes to titles, I personally try to do 2 different routes. One is creating titles that are very searchable, and the other is creating titles that are very intriguing, and some could say a little bit clickbaity. But hey, if it gets you to click the video and you're gonna enjoy the video, I think it's worth it. Then, based on the title, you can come up with a thumbnail that would best describe the video that you're creating. And I like to have the rule of thought that it's like when you go to Blockbuster, based on what the DVD cover was, you would choose that DVD. So it's the same with thumbnails. If the thumbnail is eye-catching, simple to see, then you're most likely going to choose that video to watch. And just a small little tip, make sure that when you're creating your thumbnail, squish it down to a very small size and look to see, can you actually tell what the thumbnail is about? Because oftentimes people forget that a thumbnail is not this huge photo on the YouTube platform screen, rather it's a very small little thumbnail, and if you have too much going on and too much text, you're not gonna be able to see anything. So make sure you keep the thumbnails simple and eye-catching. The third step in my YouTube workflow is scripting. Now, so many people assume that YouTube content creators and vloggers, they just pick up the camera and start talking. But the truth is, rarely is someone that charismatic that they can just pick up the camera and start talking. Instead, most YouTube content creators are scripting their videos to the point that some people actually have a teleprompter that they can read while they're talking to the camera. Now, I personally don't do that, but I do script out every single video that I make. My script usually follows a pretty standard format. I have an introduction or a hook to the video, then I go into my main body, and then I have a conclusion for the video. Now, even though I write word for word in my script, it doesn't mean that I actually follow everything word for word, but it's more like a skeleton or a body for the idea of my video. I find scripting is like 90% of making a YouTube video. Once the script is written, you can go out and film your video so much quicker and easier because you know what you want to say and what you need to film in order to make that video. But to come up with what you want to say on the spot with the camera set up in front of you or walking around the city, it almost feels impossible. Most likely you'll film a bunch of clips, but they don't cohesively come together to tell a story. So don't be lazy. Take the time to script out your idea so you know what you need to say when you're filming yourself. So once I have my script made, it is time for filming. And usually the way I do it is that if I'm doing a gear video or a tutorial video, I first film these talking head shots, and then I'll watch the talking head shots to see what kind of B-roll I need. But if I'm to film a vlog, I just simultaneously film the B-roll and the talking head shots as the days go on. Even when I'm creating my vlogs, I do script those out as well. So I'll often have like an intro, and then in my script I'll say, you know, cut to B-roll sequence, and I'll think a little bit about what kind of B-roll shots I want in my vlog. So even though a vlog comes off as very, you know, nonchalant and just go with the flow, even those I like to script and plan to a certain degree. Of course, this is always different if I'm filming with another YouTube content creator. Then usually what I do is I plan out my talking shots that I want to nail for that video, and then I would usually just film as the day goes on and see what kind of footage I get together as we're hanging out and just, you know, vibing off of each other. Having your video scripted out will help you film not too little, but also not too much, because you don't want to film too little and then not have enough footage to tell the story, but as well, you don't want to have too much footage because it's a nightmare to edit in post. When it comes to gear, I'm most of the time using the Sony a7S III, which I'm filming right now with the 1635 G Master lens and the Sony microphone, with then the Joby Gorilla Pod so that I can hold it and put it down in different places to get those talking head shots. And as well, I often mix in the iPhone 14 Pro, and I love using the little Manfrotto tripod just to be able to hold it and to put it down as well. But these are my two camera setups while I'm vlogging and creating content for this YouTube channel. Now, if you're just starting out, in no way feel pressure that you need to go out and get a Sony a7S III with a G Master lens. Just use what you have, because I would hate it that you'd limit yourself just because you don't have certain gear. Like I said earlier, I'm often filming with my iPhone, and being able to mix iPhone footage with the Sony a7S III works perfectly fine, and it really helps me get the shots that I need. Some things to think about if you are planning on investing in some gear to vlog and create YouTube videos. There's a few things that you want to have when you're buying a camera. First, you want to have a flip out LCD screen so that when you're vlogging, you can see yourself, or if you're filming yourself, you can see how you've composed your shot. The second thing you want to get is a good shotgun mic. Audio is super important when you're creating YouTube videos. I would say almost more important than the video quality, because you can have worse video quality, but if you have really bad audio and sound, no one's gonna watch your videos. And last, you wanna have a really wide angle lens, because if you have too tight of a lens, it kind of looks like you have just a floating head, whereas when you film at 16 millimeters or anywhere from 16 to 24 millimeters, you're getting a wide enough shot to film yourself and the environment that you're in. So make sure you have a camera set up with a flip LCD screen, a good shotgun mic, and a wide angle lens, and you're set to vlog and create YouTube videos. While I'm filming, I love to use the custom dial modes on my Sony a7S III. So on C1, I have it set up for vlogging, which means I'm filming at 24 frames per second with a shutter of 50, and that allows me just to get that nice 4K footage for my talking head shots. And then if I want to film B-roll, I put it to dial number 2, which is set to 60 frames per second, and I use a shutter of 120 to get that epic B-roll. And then if I really want slow motion, I switch to S&Q, which is set to 120 frames per second, so I get a really smooth, buttery slow motion. Having these different setups on different dial modes really helps me, because I can quickly go from, talking head shots to filming B-roll in a matter of seconds. So highly recommend using the custom 1, 2, 3 to set up what you need for when it comes to content creation. The fifth step of my YouTube workflow is finding the right music. Once I've filmed everything, it's time to find the music that will help support creating the story of my video. If you've been subscribed to my channel, you would know that I've had a long-term partner of this channel, and that's Epidemic Sound. I think that Epidemic Sound is the best place to get licensed music for your videos. And they have a really affordable subscription at only €9 a month, which is like the same price as buying a Big Mac meal. So it's very affordable when it comes to how high quality music you're able to get for your videos. And it's just crazy to think that back in the day when I used to shoot wedding films and license music from places like MusicBed, I'd be literally paying around $200 just for one song. And now, just for a €9 monthly subscription, I can get unlimited access to amazing music and as well sound effects for all of my videos on my YouTube channel. Not only is Epidemic Sound's service super affordable, but as well it helps me save so much time in the process of finding music with their search methods. You can search for music based on genre, mood, themes, and as well they have this new tool called Ear, which is super handy, because if you find a song that you really love, you can highlight a part of that song which you really enjoy, and Epidemic Sound's platform will automatically search for other songs in that same feeling or style, which means then you can find multiple songs that you would love to use in your videos. The Ear tool has really sped up my process by a lot, which means I end up saving hours when I'm creating 2 to 3 videos a week for this channel. If you're interested in trying out Epidemic Sound, you can use the link in my description and you'll get a 1-month free trial. Full disclaimer, I do get a small kickback from you using my link in the description, so consider it that you're also supporting my channel at the same time while enjoying great music from Epidemic Sound. When it comes to choosing music, I'm usually looking for 2 different types of music. First is for the talking head shots, where I want a little bit more chill, relaxed music that really fits underneath the talking shots. So this could be artists like Sarah the Instrumentalist, or Yamodi, or Matt Large. And then for the B-roll shots, I often want a little more epic or upbeat or synth music. And these could be artists like Oi, or AGST, or Lufus Nocte. They're just a few of the artists that I love using on a weekly basis. In each YouTube video, I'm using on average anywhere from 3 to 6 songs. So I like to make sure that I download a whole bunch of songs before I start the editing process, so that it will speed up the whole editing workflow. And step number 6 of my whole editing workflow is editing. So once you've come up with an idea, you've scripted out your video, you've filmed it, and you found the right music, you're ready to start editing. I'm personally using Final Cut Pro, which I think is a great program. You pay a one-time fee of $300 and you can use the program for life, getting always a lifetime of updates, which is great compared to something like Premiere, where you're paying a monthly fee and it ends up adding up to a lot of money. And as well, Final Cut Pro is just super fast for editing. It's constantly rendering the backgrounds, so you never have skippy footage. And as well, the export times are so fast, and I never had the program crash, unlike Premiere Pro, which is crashing on a daily basis. So I'm using Final Cut Pro to edit for all my videos, and I've loved using it. In my opinion, editing is the fun part of this whole workflow, because that's really when you can cut up your footage and add great music and add effects and titles to really make your whole piece come alive. For my editing workflow, I usually start first with cutting all of the talking head shots, then I add B-roll, then I add all the motion graphics and titles. I work on my audio, and then I do my color grade. Some tips to save a whole bunch of time when you're cutting the talking head shots. First, watch it in double speed. You don't need to watch yourself again talking in normal speed. Instead, watch in double speed, which is gonna save you half the time when it comes to editing your talking headshots. And those can take a long time because many videos can be easily 10 to 30 to 45 minutes of talking and you're cutting it down. So watch that in double speed, and as well, make use of the waveforms. I often look at the waveforms and see once there's a pause, and I try to figure out when is the last time that I tried a certain saying or phrase or sentence, because usually the last one is the best one. So I just wait to see when was the last one, and I go for that one. And using that technique and watching double speed, you're gonna cut through your talking headshots so fast. When it comes to editing the B-roll segments, I wanna make sure that the B-roll matches the music, that it's cut to the beat, and as well that it's fast-paced and keeps the audience's attention. You can get really creative with the B-roll shots, so make sure you take your time and have fun coming up with really creative sequences for your videos. And remember, just because you film something, it doesn't need to go into the video. I find so often as a filmmaker or videographer, we film so much footage and we really want to include it all, but sometimes more is actually worse because it can get too boring. So make sure that you just use the clips that actually tell the story. Just because it looks cool doesn't mean it needs to be added into the video. Once I'm done editing through the talking head shots and piecing together the B-roll, then I add motion graphics and titles to add lower thirds or different titles for the videos. And I love using Motion VFX's plugins and as well Motion Ray's plugins. These two services help me so much in creating high quality content at a fast pace, so I'd highly recommend checking them out, and they're linked in my description. Next, I work on audio. I am no audio expert. I actually use my own brother's audio presets, and they're for sale on his store, so feel free to use those if you want to work with audio the way I do. And last but not least, we have color grading. I would love to dive deep into this color grading portion, but because we just don't have time, and I've actually done in the past videos on my whole color grading process, I'm gonna link them right now for you to enjoy.